Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Cut Line, presented by the Hoosier Network. I'm Graham Nash. He is Andrew Hillsman, and we are back for yet another episode. Episode 11.
Episode 11.
Of The Cut Line. And it starts out hot, Andrew.
Yeah.
Min Woo Lee became a PGA Tour winner for the first time in his career last week.
Say it with me, Graham. Let him cook. Yes. Woo! Man, I've wanted this guy to win for so long. Did you see the little thing he did it with his last, 6-inch putt?
Dude, yes.
It was so funny.
He stood over at aim point.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It was so funny. Oh, man. A deserving winner. Everybody loves that guy. Third professional win. He shot 20 under. He tore it up all weekend. Every single round was under 70. Highest round was the last round with a 67. So, he was just on fire the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Deserving winner. He held off Scottie, Scheffler, and Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland, a great story.
Yeah.
How do you play that good of golf after brain surgery?
Dude.
How?
It's so incredible.
Yeah.
And I still don't know the full story because I'll be honest, I'm a bad podcast host, but I haven't yet watched the new season of the Netflix show.
I have not had time either. We're college students. We're busy, contrary to popular belief. So, but yeah, no, Min Woo Lee did a great job of holding off the field. It was in control all weekend. He didn't make mistakes, especially down the stretch on Sunday.
Yeah, it came down to the wire. So Scheffler was 3 back on the 16th hole. It was a par 5. Scheffler made birdie, as Scottie Scheffler does. He birdied 5 of his last 7 holes on the back 9. That's insane. Min Woo Lee bogeyed 16, so the lead was cut down to 1. A 2-shot swing on the 16th hole. Scheffler and Min Woo both par 17. Scheffler, one group ahead of Min Woo Lee, birdies 18 to tie. And Min Woo sends his second shot over the green on the par 4 18th. He's 55 feet from the hole, and he hits the lag putt of his life. Just beautifully leaves it 8 inches short and secured the win. He couldn't have asked for a better putt.
No, I don't think so. And I think a lot of people expected him to, use the wedge for that, as his nickname is Dr. Chipinski.
Right.
But he putted it from off the green.
Yeah.
It seemed to work. That's what, I have never been in that situation, but my dad always gets on me for wanting to chip it and send it close. He's like, are you dumb? Just use a putter here. Like, come on. You really should putt this.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is if you're greenside, you'll hit what people say is a bad putt is better than a bad chip.
Uh-huh.
So theoretically, if you don't hit a putt good, it'll still be closer than a chip. Now, that's all up to interpretation and situation. And
I agree with it personally. However, we're talking about Min Woo Lee, who's one of the best chippers in the game.
He is. He's got so many nicknames. You brought up Dr. Chipinski.
Yep.
That's
one he made himself.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was self-anointed.
That makes it even better.
Yeah.
So he's got Dr. Chipinski. He's got, it's just Chef,
and then Woozy.
And then Woozy.
Yeah.
It's so good. But I
love him. He's awesome.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. This is his best result this season the win is his best result ever, obviously. Before this tournament, his best result was a T11 at the Cognizant Classic, which the 2 biggest names in that tournament were Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler. Not really scratching the name Scottie Scheffler.
You're telling me, okay, he is a younger guy, but he hadn't finished top 10?
No, he just not this season.
Got it. Okay.
I do have that in here somewhere. His best results ever, I think he had 2 T2s.
Okay. Yeah. But I feel like I remembered him contending at least, but just failed to get it done.
Yeah, here it is. His best finishes before this tournament were 2 runner-ups at the Cognizant Classic in 2024.
Yeah.
So that same event where he T11'd, and then the Rocket Mortgage Classic in 2024 as well. So again, both kind of smaller name tournaments. So for him to get it done in a tournament right before the Masters and with one Scottie Scheffler in the field is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, just right on him as well. We touched on it just a little bit earlier. With a guy like Scheffler breathing down your neck, I don't know what you do. You have to, these 72 holes of championship golf, but on that last 18, I don't think we'll ever know what is going through a player's mind, what is truly going on up there from a player. It's fascinating to think about because it's the world number 1. He's the best player in the world by far.
Yeah.
what do you do? Like, how do you not just falter? I'm like Scottie Scheffler is behind me. What do I do?
Right. It's like if prime Tiger Woods was behind you in a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
there's
it's kind of the same thought, right?
right.
Well, okay, it's a little different because I think with prime Tiger Woods, if he was behind you, I think he would just give up. Because that's often what happened.
Yeah.
He didn't really fail to make those comebacks ever.
No, he didn't. But still, Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah.
Trailing you and fending him off is impressive. Scottie seems to finally be finding that major championship form right before the first major championship of the year. He led the tournament for a while. I would say, he just ran out of grass, quite frankly. I think if there were any more holes, I think he would have caught Min Woo.
Probably.
He gained 6 strokes putting at one point in the event. I think that was after Saturday.
You remember when his putting was usually what used to be like the worst part of his game?
He was the worst putter on tour.
I know.
And now he's one of the betters.
Yes.
It's terrifying. And then he also tied a course record.
Oh, well, that's like, I love how that's like a footnote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
oh, also, by the way.
Hey, he also tied a course record. Not that it's important or anything, but
yeah,
that's Scottie.
Yeah. So he's in good form heading to April, which is terrifying as he looks to exactly as he looks to defend his championship. But you brought it up.
Yep.
Gary Woodland tied for second with Scottie. And it's his best finish since undergoing brain surgery in 2023. He, like Scottie, tied a course record, 8 under 62 on Sunday. Could not be happy for that guy.
No, you really couldn't. For someone who goes through, I forget what the reason was that he had to have brain surgery. I'm actually going to look that up. Let's see, Gary Woodland surgery. Here we go.
It was all over the news. Yeah. I don't remember.
it was 2023. People kind of thought when he came back it was like a ceremonial thing. No, he's here to play.
Yeah,
which is just kind of, it's not something that you would really expect after such a major thing. And Woodland, I mean, he's not old, but he's not the youngest guy on tour.
Right.
So Woodland had a brain lesion.
Right.
And medication didn't work for him. So he, they got rid of the tumor and cut off the blood supply in there to make sure it doesn't grow back again. And now he's contending for wins on the PGA Tour. I mean, I don't know how you get a bigger comeback than that.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a better story either. I mean, just so happy, truly, for Gary Woodland. Such a great player. Had a great run there, won the U.S. Open. And, oh, man, that would have been probably around 2018.
See if you can get it. Gary Woodland.
It was at Pebble Beach. Oh, maybe it was like 20. No. I'm going to stick to 18. Oh, maybe it's 19.
It's 19. That's right. Yep.
Okay. It was at Pebble Beach. I know that.
Yep.
And he beat Brooks Koepka to prevent Koepka from hitting the three-peat in the U.S. Open, which would have been history.
Late 2010s Brooks Koepka, I think.
Unstoppable.
I don't want to crown him as this, but probably one of the greatest major stretches we've ever seen. In majors only.
Yeah, it's tough because he only won 2.
Right.
But if he also won the Open or Augusta,
right.
I think he's in that conversation. But because it was only the PGA and the U.S. Open and he just kind of went back and forth, I'm on the fence. I'm a little on the fence.
I mean, he's up there, though.
Oh, yeah.
In
undoubtedly.
Major players, but, he plays on LIV. So,
Moving on. Min Woo Lee, he had plus 4,000 odds pre-event. Pretty dang good.
Yeah.
He shot in the 60s every round for the first time all season. His 63 on Saturday is his lowest round all season, and his 64 on Friday is his second lowest round all season. So pretty good form. But you found something interesting about Min Woo Lee playing in this tournament in general.
Yes. So I was browsing Twitter earlier today, and credit to Jason Sobel, who's a host on the SiriusXM PGA Tour channel. So shout out to him if he's unlikely listening. So this is 2 weekends in a row now where, get this straight, the winner of the past 2 tournaments were unsure if they were playing midweek. Victor Hovland, after he won in Tampa, quote, "I wasn't really sure if I was going to play or not until I got here Tuesday afternoon."
But
odd. And now Min Woo Lee, after winning at Houston, quote, "I wasn't originally going to play this week, but my manager signed me up." All right.
All right,
sure.
Dude. Sure. I mean, good for that manager. He just got himself a raise.
He maybe did. I mean, and if he finishes up this tweet, it says clearly the key to picking winners is to find out who wasn't planning on being there in the first place. That's hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, man.
Well, some other notable finishes from this golf tournament. Wyndham Clark and Rory McIlroy both tied for 5th at 15 under. Jason Day tied for 27th at 9 under. Tony Finau tied for 32nd at 8 under. Ricky Fowler tied for 52nd at 5 under. Sahith Theegala finished in a tie for 67th, second to last out of those who made the cut at 1 under. And the last note, Joel Damon had a really solid week. He finished in the top 20. It's the third time he's finished in the top 25 in his 9 starts this year on tour. Don't call it a comeback, Andrew.
Okay, listen, don't call it a comeback. He's not in winning form, but he's making himself some money.
Yeah.
He's making some money.
He's getting that card, too.
Yeah.
Keeping that tour card.
Yep. Now, hold on. I want to just, before we head on to the preview of our next tournament, let's just acknowledge how close you were, and I'm not trying to give you props here because I'm not happy about this, how close you were to picking a winner 2 weekends in a row.
I was this close, dude.
I
picked Scottie Scheffler.
Yes.
And I thought I had it. When he was leading on Saturday, I was like, I did it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I maybe got a little too cocky because
Probably.
Minwoo Lee was there.
He was always there.
He was always
there. The doctor
there.
is in.
The doctor's in. Yeah, I got Rory right at the Players.
Yep.
Man, I need to put in a good
looking
pick.
back on it was like this pick just makes sense.
Yeah, but he already won. That's why I
Yeah.
thought it wasn't going to happen because Rory already won a big tournament. So I was like, he's probably not going to win another one. But I got lucky.
Yep.
Because picking a winner, that's all luck.
Yeah.
Although I will say that my girlfriend is like, all right, now you got to start gambling on PGA Tour winners.
Why are you listening to this woman? Why?
Because I got close to doing it 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, but then you're going to lose all your money.
No, I know. I'm not.
I remember we talked about this, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where, maybe it was probably a couple months ago now at this point. We've been doing this for longer than I thought now. Whenever Harris English won, and he had the quintuple digit betting odds, I'm like, whoever bet Harris English to win pre-week, call the number.
Yeah.
Get help.
Yeah.
Because that's just insane. I mean, you made a lot of money, but get help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
I don't want you going down that path.
I will not be going down that path.
However, it will be funny. If you started betting a little bit.
I'm not a gambler. Myself, I'm not.
Good financial choices
exactly.
Right from Graham Nash.
Exactly. Well, the next tournament on the PGA Tour that you need to keep an eye out for is the Valero Texas Open. Staying in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, and that includes the golf tournaments. The Masters is right after. 2 weeks until we're back in Augusta.
Oh, my gosh.
That's all we have. Some notables. Some players playing in the Valero Texas Open, flip the name around, who did not play last week. You've got Ludwig Oberg returning to the field. That's going to be interesting. Akshay Bhatia, Patrick Cantlay, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Mr. Max Homa looking to make his first cut of the season, Hideki Matsuyama and Jordan Spieth. Tony Finau and Ricky Fowler are playing again. There will be no Scottie Scheffler, no Minwoo Lee, no Justin Thomas, no Colin Morikawa, no Victor Hovland, and no Wyndham Clark. Nevertheless,
none of those names
field.
really surprised me about not,
really?
taking a week off. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect any of those, especially not Scheffler, and it doesn't make sense for Minwoo to play. I don't think right after winning. Just because I feel like with your winning celebrations, especially for his first win on tour. Probably had some fun on Sunday, or at least on Monday. Maybe not in, the exact physical shape to go out and play more. And you got to be ready. Augusta is a physical test.
Oh, it sure is. Also
not that I would know. However,
also forgot to mention no Rory McIlroy, which
that also doesn't shock me.
We have a little nugget on that
a
little bit later in the Gimmies section. So stick around. Stick with us here in the cut line. It's just starting to get good.
Oh, yeah.
Let's tie the bow. Oh, you got something else?
You mentioned everything's bigger in Texas. I just pulled up the page about the Oaks course in San Antonio, which is where the Valero Texas Open is.
Okay.
Par 72, 7,435-yard course.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's quite long. That is egregious.
Where this is the TPC website. It says downhill holes play into the wind, and uphill holes play downwind. Fun.
That's insane. How did they manage that? Just architecturally?
Greg Norman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do
With
it.
consultant Sergio Garcia. What?
Very interesting.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, good for them. It'll be a good test. Apparently a long test as well. Tying the bow now on TGL. A little breakdown of how much money every team made, because it is interesting to look at. 6 teams, obviously. Each of them did get a paycheck. The Atlanta Drive won the golf tournament. Won, what would you even call it? The season?
They won the inaugural championship.
Okay, there you go.
They won the championship.
The championship.
Yeah.
I like the championship. The team made $9 million.
For sponsorship purposes, it's the SoFi Cup.
Right, yes. The SoFi Cup. Good catch. The SoFi Cup. $9 million to the winners in Atlanta Drive. That's $2.25 million per player. Second place, New York Golf Club. They got $4.5 million, which is $1.125 per player. Third place, LA Golf Club. They got $2.25 million as a team. That is $562,500 per player. We've got a couple more. The Bay Golf Club came in fourth. They got $2 million as a team, which comes out to an even $500,000 per player. And fifth, Tiger Woods and Jupiter Links, one of the co-creators of the SoFi Cup. $1.75 million for the team, $437,500 per player. And lastly, Mr. Rory McIlroy and Boston Common came in dead last, sixth. They got $1.5 million as a team, $375,000 per player. Not a bad paycheck, Andrew.
No, this league was always going to have the money in it. It wouldn't get off the ground if it didn't have that sort of investment support. And it's good to show that, this league has financial draw for these players who want to maybe supplement. Obviously, you have to be a big name. You got to be someone who is a contender on tour to be in this sort of thing. But I just think about towards next year, I got to imagine they're going to expand it to 8 teams. That would make sense.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it, I think, last week.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get a Texas team.
Oh, yeah.
With Spieth and Scheffler, if they both want to do it. Which, I mean, after the fun that those guys had this year, I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to do that.
Right. Where do you think we could get an 8th team?
Oh, man, it's tough. Miami?
Oh, interesting.
Although we kind of already have Jupiter Links.
We do.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
DC.
Chicago.
Okay.
I think, DC's a good shout.
Yeah.
I think it's one or two of Chicago or DC.
Yep.
It'll be fun. I'm excited. Speaking of leagues that thrive off of offering money to their teams and their players, LIV did not have an event.
Yep.
Because there was no big PGA Tour event to compete with. This is just comes back to our quarrels with LIV and how they keep putting events on the big weeks of the PGA.
Yep.
But they aren't making that mistake this week.
No, they're not. Yeah.
They have an event. LIV Golf Miami is this week, April 4th through 5th. Of course, no LIV on Masters Week. So they are doing the right thing, I feel like, in getting their players ready for Augusta that are going. And there's a good handful. You've got DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Joaquin Niemann, Sergio Garcia.
Yep.
A good amount of guys that will be going. So a big week on LIV for some of these guys to prove themselves and get themselves in form.
Yeah, they'll need to. I looked down the LIV standings here, and I don't really know how to read this because there's a bunch of weird things in here. However, there's some guys as I scroll down the list, like Bryson DeChambeau is not contending for the LIV Championship right now. He's about 40 points behind.
Really?
He's in 16th. Yeah. So, but we'll see Phil tee it up. We'll see Bryson tee it up. All these former champions that have switched over to LIV. So it's going to be good to see everybody back. That's what the majors get us.
Exactly.
In this era of golf. It gets everybody on a level playing field, which is good for the game. And, it always reignites the discussion about, okay, why the heck did this happen in the first place? We know the reason, it's money, but we all want it to become unified again. Are you going to watch LIV Golf Miami? No.
No, because March Madness.
Right.
There's again.
They do have a lot of stuff competing with it. That's just kind of what it is with this time in the calendar. You got the start of the MLB season. And you got, the NBA playoff push, which I don't personally care about. You got the NHL season wrapping up. It's kind of everything except for the NFL is in season right now.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get TV time. But nonetheless, I think it'll be interesting to see how those former champions who have gone over to LIV are going to fare at Augusta.
I agree.
Could one of them make a run? I don't know, just based off of how well the PGA guys are playing right now.
Sure.
They're on a hot streak. All these guys are.
They're on, and it's the big names who are on heaters.
Yeah.
I do also just want to say for our viewers, I apologize. I accidentally triggered this camera up here. Hello,
hi.
everyone.
Hello.
We're still.
I didn't even know that was up there.
I know. We're still getting used to. This is only our second podcast recording.
Yep.
So bear with us. We're still getting used to all the different machinery that we now have to keep track of.
A lot of stuff.
We got 2 more things to cover before we get to our gimmies and our made or miss section. Got golf viewership numbers from the Houston Open. And it's interesting because it's not a big tournament when you consider the players, you consider the Masters, or even Pebble Beach. But the Sunday's final round had 3.9 million viewers on NBC, up 50% in viewership from last year. Wow. That is astounding.
That's huge. And for all the people who say, oh, golf is dying on TV, nobody wants to watch this boring sport. Yeah, they do.
I think also...
Just go away.
I think there were more viewers, too, because Min-Woo Lee was in contention.
Yeah.
That's huge.
When the big names are in contention, especially heading down the backstretch on Sunday, people are going to watch. But the other thing is, I feel like this kind of always happens heading up to Augusta. People want to get in, whether it just be because, this is sort of the start of the golf season. Courses are opening up.
Sure.
My home course opened up, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think my dad's already probably played 14 times in that time. But, it's everybody's kind of getting back into the golf mode. And with Augusta coming up, everybody wants to watch golf on TV. They want to consume more golf content, whether it's for like gambling reasons, which is some people nowadays, or just to, get back into the game for the summer season. I think these sorts of events that are stacked right before Augusta are important for viewership. But 50%, like you said, is pretty cool to see. Just, I don't know if it's just because there's a bigger draw. Maybe Full Swing came out recently, but we've seen that the last couple of years. So it could be a multitude of things. And NBC, I think, has done a really good job with their coverage this year.
A little more for you. Of the 20 PGA rounds on broadcast television this season, the Houston Open Sunday round was the 13th to hit a multi-year high in ratings and or viewership. Overall, 15 of the 20 windows have posted an increase over last year, including 9 straight broadcasts. Wow. So they are on a tear. Also, entering, or I shouldn't say entering because it's still 2 weeks away, but as we get closer to the Masters, Golf Channel's live PGA Tour coverage has averaged 675,000 viewers this season. That's up 41% from last year, and it's above the network's highest average on record. Wow. That is just jarring, frankly.
It is. And, I think it was in one of our earlier episodes, maybe around the time when we dove into the pace of play problem in those early season tournaments, we talked about the gripes that we had with Golf Channel's coverage.
Right.
And how I feel like it was at Pebble Beach for the Pro-Am where there was this gap of 30 minutes.
Oh,
you remember what I'm talking about?
I do remember that.
Yeah. Where it was like in between when Golf Channel stopped airing and when CBS started their afternoon.
Yeah, and it was like it was the most important stretch of golf.
Yeah, it was like 7, 8, 9. Right.
Yeah, it was like the stretch you don't want to miss.
Right.
So that's very true. Very
people
interesting.
are watching. That's good.
Yeah, I agree. Last thing before Gimmies, got the winnings from this week's PGA Tour event, and I wanted to bring it up just to compare it to the players. There's a lot of talk about signature events, the increased prize pool. So just a little comparison of what a not signature event looks like compared to a signature event, and how much more signature does it get than the players on the PGA Tour. So Min-Woo Lee won $1.71 million for winning. That's about equivalent to a tie in third at the players. So not far off there. That's still pretty good.
Yep.
Gary Woodland and Scottie Scheffler in a tie for second won $845,500, which is well below that tie for third number. I don't have that equivalent on here, but I do have equivalents for a little bit lower in the field. 10th in the Houston Open was Mackenzie Hughes, and he won $258,000, give or take. That's about equivalent to 20th at the players. And then dead last from the Houston Open, which was 69th, won just around $20,000, compared to 72nd, dead last at the Players, won just over $50,000. So while the top numbers don't seem to be changing that much, it seems like the lower half of the field gets more money in these signature events.
Right, and I think that's kind of the whole point of the events, because to make money to like really support your career on tour before the signature events, you needed to be winning and placing in top 15, top 20. With the signature events, if you're invited to one of those, you're going to come away with a hefty paycheck regardless of where you finish. If you make the, well, most of them don't have cuts, but
for the ones that do have
for
cuts,
the ones
though,
that do, you need to make it, and then you're going to come away with a bag. However, I think this is a good reason why not every event can be a signature event, nor should it be.
Right.
So I think the number that they have right now, which I think is 8. 8 or 9.
8 or 9. It might be 9.
I think that's a good number to keep it at.
Yeah. I'll also say, too, is like it places more emphasis on the non-signature events so that the not as big name players can get in and then don't get cut because there is no cut.
Right.
So I think it's a great system. I think it's a good incentive, and then also just good for giving some of those guys that don't win every week a chance to make some good money and keep going. That'll lead us into Gimmies, our quick news hits segment, everyone's favorite segment.
Oh, yeah.
Here on the Cut Line. I know it's mine.
Fun.
We talked about how Rory McIlroy is not going to be playing this week at the Valero Texas Open. Well, here's why. A little trouble in paradise for Mr. McIlroy. He revealed to the Golf Channel that he has slight discomfort in his right elbow. This is less than 2 weeks before his attempt to win that green jacket. He said, quote, "The right elbow's been bothering me a bit, so maybe get some treatment on that and make sure it's okay going into Augusta." Andrew, how concerning is this sounding to you?
Not. I'm not concerned for Rory. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's at a point in his career where he knows. Correct me if I'm wrong. He dealt with some injury stuff earlier in his career. I want to say not to the level like Tiger did,
right?
But
there was that stretch around
mid 2010s. I want to say it was.
Yeah, and mid and to like a little bit later. There was that whole thing with his ankle. He played soccer,
right?
And he like might have broken his ankle playing soccer in the off season. And everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Like he was at tip-top form. Yeah. So
now I think he's at a point in his career and with his swing, at least from an outsider's perspective, where he knows what works and what doesn't. I don't think we've seen him make a lot of swing changes in the last couple of years. At least not to my eye.
Right.
I don't know if you think any different on that.
I don't. I think the biggest thing is that right arm that we kind of talked about in an earlier episode, how he's just kind of setting that early. And he's talked a lot about it, and he said, like, that is why I'm playing much more consistent golf. Yeah. Which we talked about it last week. The numbers that he has put up in the past year has been outstanding.
Yeah. The data is really good. We talked about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where if Scottie didn't have the year he did last year, we would be talking about Rory's year kind of in the same vein. Agreed. However, I'm not concerned about this because I think Rory is going to show up and be fine. I don't see any reason, unless he really kind of comes out and just doesn't look right on Thursday at Augusta. I don't think there's any room for concern. He doesn't seem concerned about it.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
I hope you're right. We'd love to see a healthy Rory McIlroy with the start he's had this season to compete well at the Masters. Well, we talked last week about how Scottie Scheffler has the longest consecutive weeks at world number 1 by anyone not named Tiger Woods. And we said that sometime soon it would be released how much longer he'd need to be at world number 1 to surpass Tiger. Well, we got that number. It's a little bit wild, and it comes from the man Scottie Scheffler himself. He said this at the press conference last week before the Houston Open. Take a listen.
I mean, is it a nice accomplishment? Yes. I think it's something cool to see from some good starts I've had in the last couple of years, and I've definitely put in a lot of work to have that type of achievement. Tiger's still got the record by about like 8 years or something like that, so not really thinking about it too much. But at the end of the day, each tournament is a tournament, and you start even par. Showing up here, being number 1 in the world doesn't do me any good. It just simply doesn't. And so at the end of the day, I'm focused on the tournament, the task at hand, and the rankings are the rankings. I don't really care what they are.
8 years.
That's
until
a long time,
Scottie
man.
Scheffler can bat. Yeah. But what I like about that clip, the reason I played it too and didn't just tell you, is because I like how down to earth he is about
Yeah.
being world number one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
No. And I like his brand of like dry humor. What stands out to me about that is when he was talking to the press about his hand injury over the offseason.
Mhm.
He's like, what's that? What is it? He was like, someone asked him like, why don't you hire a personal chef? You remember this?
Oh,
It was so funny.
Yes.
And he was like complimenting his wife about it. But you know, he's a funny guy. He's down to earth. He's a Texas dude. Everybody loves Scottie. But you know, 8 years is just kind of dumbfounding.
Yeah, it's jarring. That would be what, 2033?
Yeah.
Dude, that it feels
It's a really long time
light
away.
years away.
It is. Yeah. It really is.
Well, we took a break from Rory to talk Scottie. Let's go back to Rory.
All right.
If you look at the world golf rankings this week, this exact week in 2015, 2020, and 2025, here's what you'll see. In 2015, Rory McIlroy was in first. Henrik Stenson was in second. That's a crazy call out. Bubba Watson was in third. Jason Day was fourth, and Adam Scott was fifth, with Jordan Spieth in sixth. That's surprising. Well, he hadn't won the Masters yet.
He hadn't won
so
yet. He was kind of on the rise.
Right.
I got to imagine the Masters win kind of shot him up towards the rankings. Henrik Stenson and Bubba Watson are now both LIV guys.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Henrik Stenson's name in a relevant context in ages.
Dude, me neither.
Bubba is relevant because he's Bubba.
Sure.
And then everybody else is still on PGA Tour.
Yeah. Everyone else on the PGA Tour is fighting except for Mr. McIlroy. In 2020, Rory was also first. Jon Rahm was second. Koepka was third. Justin Thomas was fourth. And Dustin Johnson was fifth.
Well, this was also before DJ won his Masters in 2020 because I believe that was played in what? August? September? August it was?
August
Because
Augusta.
of COVID. And yeah, that makes sense. With now Rahm, Koepka, so 3 of those guys are now LIV guys.
Yeah.
But that era of like, you know, Rahm, Koepka, DJ, Justin Thomas was there. You almost feel like the guys who were really contending for stuff were not JT and McIlroy. I feel like they didn't really get talked about as much. Obviously, McIlroy was so consistent, but he hasn't won a major in a very long time.
No.
What was it? Since 2014, he hasn't won a major.
Yes. Yeah. Valhalla.
Yeah.
U.S. Open or
Yeah, I
PGA.
think it's PGA. He's been winning, but you know,
Not the big ones.
no.
Well, if you look in 2025, if you look this week, you'll see Scottie Scheffler in first, Rory McIlroy in second, with Xander Schauffele in third, Colin Morikawa in fourth, and Ludwig Oberg in fifth. The moral of the story is Rory was best in the world in 2015 and 2020, and in 2025, currently, he is second best in the world.
It's insane.
No one else on that list is in the top 5 twice.
Yeah,
That is unreal.
pretty insane. You would think the guy who has the best shot to do that was JT, but you know, he just has not been there.
Yeah.
It's insane. And quite literally, I think the only piece left, it's been said, but this really puts it into perspective that the only piece left to cement McIlroy's legend at like close to the Mount Rushmore of golf is a win at Augusta. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer no matter what.
Yeah.
But to get in the conversation of best to play golf, he's got to get a green jacket. We'll move on. There's more on Rory McIlroy to come because he's always in the news.
Oh, yeah.
This guy,
Yep.
for better or for worse, Rory's always
he-
being talked about.
Yeah.
Bobby Jones's $9.8 million home is up for sale, and it looks gorgeous. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh, I think it was posted on
Look it up.
Golf
Bobby Jones
Digest.
home
Maybe we'll pull up some photos for the podcasters at home.
Home for sale.
But if you go on
Let's
Golf
see.
Digest, I think you'll also find it there on their socials.
Oh my gosh.
It's a golf haven.
It's like a state house.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
There's
You got
putting
$5 million
green.
lying around? We can just move there.
I wish I did. Let me tell. Hey, fans at home, send this to your friends so that
Yeah,
we can
right.
get some money for the cut line
Pool this. Oh my
and buy
gosh.
the house.
Man, where is this? This is in Atlanta, I think.
That's actually a great question. I should have done my research.
It looks like it's in Atlanta. Yeah. Which would make
Tuxedo
sense.
Park.
I mean, I'm on an Atlanta property listing site, so that's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuxedo.
It is
let's see.
beautiful.
Tuxedo Park. No, I don't want Indianapolis. It's a neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Wow.
So any Atlanta listeners, if you got a spare
$10 million
$10 million laying around,
which is a lot of money. Yeah,
what's crazy too is like that's not even half of winning the PGA Tour championship.
Right?
To think about. Like that's not even half. Scottie could go buy this for pocket change.
I don't think he needs that, but yeah, that's right. He has, he's won enough, and it just we talked about it. What was it? 2 weeks ago. The difference between the money that the guys earned back then and what they earn now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, we're going to get to that Hillsman.
Oh, yes.
Don't you worry. There's something about that in this gimme section. Well, you talked about how Scottie probably doesn't need that house. You golfers at home also probably don't need the latest and greatest technology to play good golf. Yep. I know I don't.
That's right.
I know Hillsman doesn't. Get this. Rory McIlroy, we said he'd be brought back up. He paid a $995 Uber to bring his QI10 driver and fairway woods to Bay Hill now 3 Sundays ago from his Palm Beach Gardens home after getting frustrated with the newest QI35 model. He said, quote, "Some years you vibe with a new piece of equipment a little easier," and he admitted that he'll stick with his old clubs through at least his time in Augusta National this season.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he went to such extreme lengths to get these clubs back, because it's such proof that you don't need the latest release to play good golf.
No, you don't, especially with these drivers that are getting launched at $600 a piece. That's before aftermarket shafts and fitting costs.
Yeah.
If you want to get a new driver right now, top of the line, you're probably paying close to $1,000.
Yeah.
All told. Like
It's
if you're getting a
insane.
custom shaft, if you're getting a fitting, which you should do if you're going to get new clubs, unless you're a beginner,
Right.
You should get a fitting
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to get new clubs. That's just a fact. The technology is good enough for it to help you, regardless if you're a 30 handicap, if you're a hack on the weekends, a fitting can help you in some way, shape, or form. However, you don't need to be buying $1,000 drivers every year, man. You just don't.
Man.
The technology improvements are just not that big year after year. And if you like something, like, for example, I would be interested to see, I use a Callaway Maverick driver from 2020.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see how I would fare with newer drivers, and that's only a 5-year difference. But I really like that driver.
Yeah.
I am not itching to get a new one, mostly because I don't have the money for it. However, it's not a necessity. It's still a great club. I know some guys, our friend Henry Thuss is playing with a driver from the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
And he's actually not that terrible with it. He can hit that thing. But, you just don't, you see guys at clubhouses all over the country. At least I've seen him. I used to work at Prairie View Golf Club in Carmel. Every new year, I would see okay, this guy has a new driver. This is the latest and greatest. He's not very good at golf. Does he really need this?
Yeah.
Unless it got fitted. But
Right.
with irons, I think it's more important.
Yeah, with irons and wedges, you got
think they
grooves that
phase
you've
out
got to maintain.
Earlier, but especially with the drivers and the fairway woods, you don't need to replace them that often.
Right. And Rory McIlroy, we've talked about this because we love the club.
Yeah.
Rory said his favorite club of all time is the original M2 driver. Or maybe it was the second generation M2.
Yeah.
One of those. The only reason he can't use it is because it had some technology in it that has now been banned.
Yes.
Because it was that good.
It was, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's banned for us
For
weekend
you.
warriors,
Right.
right?
That's right.
We can go back and use it. But
Did you ever, you had one, right?
I did not.
You didn't?
I've been a Titleist guy through and through.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Actually, no, that's actually a lie. I had Cobra
Ooh.
for a long time before Titleist.
Ball knowledge,
I was
anybody?
I was a Cobra guy.
I used to have a Cobra driver.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah. Like when I was...
Team Cobra.
Yeah, except that I didn't wear orange and look like a highlighter.
See, I
I'll
did
leave that
that.
to Ricky.
I
bet
did that.
you did.
I
I bet
did
you
that.
did. I'll leave that to Ricky. But yeah, no, the equipment thing, I like following it year after year just to see what these companies come up with because the
Sure.
names are always funny. It's like AI, smoke, pure garbage, whatever.
Pure garbage.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody comes up with these fancy new names. The Elite that it's spelled wrong, ELYTE,
YTE.
which is actually, to be fair, I think a really good driver. I think
really?
I think it's been doing well. But with TaylorMade, I think the QI35 was not really well received, and the QI10 was a big hit.
Yeah.
McIlroy obviously proving that.
Yeah. Well, Rory, he's going to try to win at Augusta with his old clubs. Try to avoid going down in the all-time players to never win a green jacket list.
Great segue.
Right now, it's Rory McIlroy, Tom Kite, Greg Norman, Lee Trevino, which I didn't realize that Lee Trevino never won a Masters, and Ernie Els. That, I mean,
great.
You hate to say it this way, that'd be elite company if Rory didn't win.
It is, yeah.
But
that's not the elite company you want to be in.
Exactly. And if you do want to go see Rory try to win
it's going to cost
at this
you a
year's
penny.
Masters, it's going to cost you a lot. This is according to golf.com and Golf Magazine.
Remember, this is probably before fees, everybody.
Yeah, this is before fees. On Thursday, it would cost you $2,201 for a ticket. On Friday, $2,299. On Saturday, $1,910, and on Sunday, $1,951. Andrew, would you be willing to pay that to go to Augusta National?
If I had the money, maybe. I don't, so no. And I'll stick with my chances in the lottery.
Yes.
You do the lottery, right?
I do the lottery.
Everybody does the lottery.
I've never won the lottery.
No, of course not.
I've never heard of anyone winning the lottery.
I have heard of some people.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Not like it's not common.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's a bucket list, man.
I know.
I would not pony up if I had enough to but if I don't think I would.
I would pony up that much to play Augusta.
Sure.
But I don't think to go watch.
Oh, I'd play Augusta for that.
Yeah. I agree.
Goodbye, savings.
Goodbye, savings.
See ya.
That's exactly right.
No,
Andrew, I've got a
One can
question
dream. Oh, I
for
like
you.
this. Yeah.
I got more questions.
All right.
Which collegiate golf duo would you take in a match?
All right.
Here are a couple groupings of the best golfers to play at a specific university, not necessarily at the same time. At Oklahoma State, you could take Ricky Fowler and Victor Hovland. At the University of Texas, like we've talked about, you get the two local boys, Jordan Spieth and Scottie Scheffler. At Stanford, Tiger Woods and Rose Zhang, one of the best golfers on the women's tour.
Yep.
At Cal Berkeley, you get Colin Morikawa and Max Homa. And at Alabama, Justin Thomas and Nick Dunlap.
All right. Qualifying question for this. Is this golfer, are we considering these golfers in their primes?
That's a very...
Because that changes a lot of things in a couple of ways.
Let's say...
Or current.
Let's say current.
Okay, then that takes the Stanford team out of the running.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because I just don't think Tiger is at a point where he can, do that. If it was prime Tiger, I'm picking that Stanford team every day of the week.
I agree.
I think right now, and this, I really want to go with Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But something is drawing me to that Crimson Tide duo, man.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide,
Roll
baby.
Tide. I think I'd pick JT and Nick Dunlap. I know it's really tough to bet against Scottie Scheffler, but if it's a 2-ball, the way Spieth is playing right now, it's just not consistent enough to me. And I think JT and Nick Dunlap is a really good duo. I would love to see that match.
Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going
right.
with the same grouping. Because if you go down the list, Victor Hovland's not playing very well right now. He did win, but he admitted, he was like, I did not expect to win that.
Right.
Jordan not playing great.
Yep.
Tiger can't play. Max Homa hasn't made a cut.
Okay, I wasn't going on the assumption that Tiger Woods would be hobbling around the course on one leg.
I know.
I would think about him in playing shape. But yeah.
Max Homa hasn't made a cut.
Nope.
And so JT and Nick Dunlap have been the most consistent too.
They have.
I like it. I got another question for you, Andrew. Which of these is the most unbelievable? Scottie Scheffler has the second most PGA Tour wins since 2010, and he won his first event in 2022. Ricky Fowler.
I'm going to stop you right there. That's the most unbelievable one. Both of these are really good, but I'm sorry, nothing gets better than that. I didn't even know that. That's insane.
That is insane. Well, the other ones that we have
just for clarity's sake,
for those at home,
which are really cool,
which are very cool. Yeah. Ricky Fowler finished in the top 5 of every major in 2014. It hurts because he hasn't won a major.
He hasn't won.
He still hasn't won. And then the last one from 1970 to 1979, Jack Nicklaus's worst finish at the Masters was 8th place.
That's I would put that one in the second.
Yeah, I agree. That's 70, 71. I think that's 10. I was going to say it's 9, but if
10
you
years.
include
Yep.
70, it's 10 years. 10 Masters tournaments, and he
Top 10
top 10 every time.
Insane. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yep.
I've got another question for you, Andrew. We're going through our questions
Oh,
list right now. Bubba Watson recently said on an interview something about Scottie Scheffler's 2024 season in comparison to one of the best seasons we have seen all time on the PGA Tour. It's a very quick bite, but I want it to come from Bubba himself. Take a listen.
I know Tiger did some stuff in 2000, but Scottie's year was the best we've ever seen. With all the talent around the world now playing, that was it.
Fact or cap?
Oh, come on, Bubba.
Before you say anything,
Oh, man.
I brought up the stats so that we can compare. Scotty's 2024 looked like this. He played 19 events, won 7 times with 2 runner-ups, 16 top 10 finishes, and he didn't miss a weekend. Tiger Woods, 20 starts, 9 wins, 4 runner-ups, 17 top 5s, and he didn't miss a cut. Scottie, he won his 7 PGA Tour titles, included the Masters, the Players, the Tour Championship, and 4 elevated events. He also won Olympic gold in France. Tiger won 3 of the 4 majors. He was 5th at the Masters, won the U.S. Open, won the PGA, and would go on to win the Masters in 2001 to complete the Tiger Slam. He came in 2nd at the Players and 2nd at the Tour Championship. Tiger had a scoring average of 68.17, an adjusted scoring average of 67.79. Scottie's, I don't have the numbers, but I know it ranks 10th on the all-time list. And Tiger fills out 1 through 9 for best seasons with an adjusted scoring average. The last thing that I will say, because this is insane, Scottie Scheffler earned a record $29,228,357 on tour. But that does not include the $25 million bonus he won for the FedEx Cup, the $8 million he won for topping the Comcast Business Top 10 list, and the $1 million he won at the Hero. So he finished his season with $63 million. That is $3,000 per golf shot. Whereas Tiger, he won just over $9 million. You talked about...
Now that's, again, you have to... Is that adjusted for inflation?
No, that is in 2000s dollars.
Okay.
But insane, first of all, the difference in
both
that.
seasons are unbelievable.
Which do you think is better?
I'm sorry. There is no way that I am going to sit here and hear an argument that Scottie in 24 was better than Tiger in 2000. I just don't think you can make it. You can't.
I agree. I mean, there wasn't a more dominant season in the history of golf.
There wasn't. 3 of the 4. I mean, are you kidding? 3 of the 4 majors? Unbelievable.
Yeah. And he won more.
Yes.
He had more runner-ups.
17 top 5s.
Oh, I read that wrong. I read 17 top 10s, 17
No.
top 5s. He
Played every weekend.
All but 3 tournaments he finished in the top 5 that he
Like,
played.
what?
That's insane.
Won almost half his starts.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry. You can't argue that.
Yeah,
It's the greatest
45.
season. It's the greatest season we have ever seen, and I think we will ever see.
I agree. I feel like we're getting to the point where every week we have a new ridiculous
Tiger stat?
take. Well, new Tiger stat and a new ridiculous take from a live golfer. Because last week we had Phil saying Joaquin Neiman was the best golfer in the world.
This one isn't as bad as Phil's.
Okay, I agree.
It's not good, but Phil's with Joaquin was considerably dumber.
Yes.
Way dumber.
I'd agree.
But no, I mean, where I thought you were going with that is like every week, at least I see a new like crazy Tiger stat about how much better he was in his prime than everybody else ever was.
I agree. I mean,
It's just cool to see all the different ways.
we haven't discussed this. Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus? Who's the greatest golfer of all time?
Come on. Oh. I'll let you go first on this one.
Dude, it's so tough.
So close.
It's so tough. Because if you look at the stats side by side, Jack won more majors, of course, that we all know that. Jack finished higher in more majors.
Yep.
There's a couple more. Jack played in more majors, whatever it is, but Tiger won more tour events.
Yep.
And that's kind of the only thing that Tiger has over Jack.
Yep.
But then you consider the time period.
Yep.
Tiger was against better competition. That's what Bubba tried to make the argument about Scottie Scheffler, though, and we
Yeah.
still stick with Tiger's 2000 season. It's so tough.
I think you have to say that Jack Nicklaus is the greatest major player ever,
Okay.
but I don't know if he's the greatest player ever. I think Tiger gets that spot.
I don't mind that, actually.
I don't think you can make a distinction about who's better. It's kind of in the same vein as like LeBron and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, I think a lot of people argue that LeBron might be the greatest pure scorer ever,
Uh-huh.
right? A lot of people argue he's the greatest player ever. But, everybody cites all of Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year awards, which leads a lot of people to believe he's the greatest all-round player of all time,
Yeah.
which I think there's a good case for. I think you have to have a distinction. With this close of an argument, I don't think you can just crown one standalone greatest of all time.
I agree. I like that. I like Nicklaus as the greatest major
Player
champion
ever. Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
Well, that sidetracked us a little bit. We're running a little bit long, so we'll go through made or missed pretty quickly. As things stand, I have 66 points. Hillsman has 55. We tied last week yet
Of course.
again.
I need to pick a winner. I have to. I have to do it right this week.
All
I really
right.
do.
Well, we're going to start with our made or missed. Daniel Berger, make or miss?
Man, go down the list. I haven't heard him make waves. I mean, he's 26th ranked in the world. I look at his results this season, and I see a lot of good results. He hasn't missed a cut since January in the events he's played. He's been consistent, tied for 20th at the Players. He's going to make the cut.
Yep. I
I
like
think
it.
that's pretty easy, cut and dry sort of thing.
Yep.
To go with him on that.
I like it. I'm going made as well. I'm also going to go made for Akshay Bhatia. Your thoughts?
I'm with you there as well. He's playing good golf. He's a young guy. I don't think we're going to see any like crazy collapses from him.
Could we see a crazy collapse from Keegan Bradley? Your thoughts?
See, this is one where I need to pull up his, I guess, history this season, right? You go down the list as it loads. He hasn't missed a cut, so I'm going to say he makes it, but I don't think he's going to contend. He was tied for 65th at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, so he didn't have a good weekend there. But I think he's a shoo-in to make the cut. He's playing good golf.
I would agree. I think he's also playing good golf.
All
The
right.
next one is tough.
Yes.
Corey Connors.
Oh, man.
The Canadian Corey Connors. It
Yeah,
just makes
that's
sense.
right. Yep.
Your thoughts? Or do you want me to go first? on
I'll
this one?
have you go first.
You want me to
on
go
this.
first?
Yeah.
Okay. We've all said made 3 times in a row.
We have, right?
And I'm going to say 4 times in a row. I
Okay,
think Corey Connors is going to make
Yeah,
it.
I agree. He's playing really good golf. Players Championship tied for 6th. Valspar tied for 8th.
Yeah.
Didn't play last weekend at Houston. He was solo 3rd at the API. He's playing really good golf. There's no reason to doubt him until he gives us one.
Give me your thoughts on Matt Fitzpatrick making
man.
or missing the cut.
Now, this is a guy I think last year. Now, here's a guy. that's what I thought of. Like, I feel like a lot of people, he's a major champion. He's a shoo-in to make it. I don't think he's going to make it this week.
Oh.
I got to have one miss on here, right?
You took my take.
I know.
I was going to say missed as well, and I am going to say
Okay,
missed.
well, we're boring today.
I know. I'm
This
going
one
to
should be
say
fun,
Lonto Griffin.
Anto Griffin.
I'm going to say missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I just want to look at his statistics this year as I pull it up. Oh. Yeah, missed is a good pick.
Okay.
Let's just for kind of fun's sake, his last 4 events, which were the Puerto Rico Open, Players Championship, Valspar Championship, Texas Children's Houston Open. You ready?
Yeah.
Tied 72nd, cut.
Oof.
Yeesh. Yeah,
All
he's missing
right.
the cut.
He is missing the cut.
Yeah.
Padraig Harrington, made or missed?
You're going first.
Missed.
Wow.
Simple as
That's
that.
quick. Do I want to ruffle feathers today? He's a sponsor exemption for this weekend. Do I really want to ruffle some feathers?
That's all you need. He's a sponsor exemption. He didn't even qualify.
See, I want to do it, right? Like,
Do it.
do it.
Do what must be done.
But, like, he was terrible last weekend at Houston. Rounds of 74, 71 and missed.
Do it.
Oh, screw it. He's gonna make it. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Just for fun. I'll be rooting for the Irishman all weekend.
I love it.
Let's see it.
Way to mix it up, Hillsman.
Yeah, we got to at some point.
Now you go first. Give me Harry Higgs.
Oh gosh, is he a sponsor exemption as well? Let's find out. Say Higgs. We go down the list.
You know what? I'm willing to fire first here.
Okay, go
He's
ahead.
making it.
Okay,
Made.
Yeah, all right.
Bang. Say it with chest.
Okay, yeah. I go to his results page. Absolutely not. Nope, he's not.
All right.
No chance. Nope. No.
All right.
Hey, his best result was tied for 26th in Puerto Rico this year.
Yeah, that's
no.
I just got a feeling.
No takebacks.
I got no takebacks. I got a feeling.
All right, I like it.
Tom Kim.
Yes.
He missed the cut last week.
Oh.
You already said yes.
I know
You
I
already
did.
said yes.
Yeah, but I think he's going to get it back on track. I think he'll be a top 30 finisher in Augusta.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I like the shout.
Yeah.
I was saying no takebacks, but I also think he's gonna make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's-
Well, you didn't make your prediction yet. You just said he missed it last week.
Right. No, yeah.
This is
Last
a good
but
one
not
to end
least.
on. I like this one.
The smooth operator,
Oh,
Jake
yeah.
Knapp.
Oh man, who doesn't love Jake Knapp?
His golf swing's just so sweet.
It's really nice.
so sweet.
Yeah, he's got
Thoughts?
some power. I think it's going to serve him well on a long course. He's going to make it.
All right. I'm gonna say.
Yes, we're waiting.
I'm gonna say missed.
Okay. Any particular reason? What do we think?
To ruffle some feathers, man.
Okay, I
you,
like it.
You did it for
Yeah.
Podrick Harrington.
Yep.
I did it for Harry Higgs too.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're here to mix things up. Hillsman, quickly give me your winner.
Okay, remember last week when I said I got really mad at you for picking Scottie Scheffler? I was going to pick him this week, but he's not playing.
Oh, I forgot.
I know. I thought about that at the start of the episode, but I got a good one for you. I'm going with our favorite robot, Ludwig Oberg.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know it is.
That's a good one.
You know
Ludwig
it is.
Oberg. Do you know who I'm gonna go with?
I'm gonna please pick Tommy Fleetwood for.
I'm not gonna pick Tommy, but I'm gonna double
choice.
down on someone that is on our made or miss list. I am going with Daniel Berger.
Whoa! I thought you were gonna pick Corey Connors.
That would be a little crazy.
Oh man!
I'm going D-Berg.
I like the pick. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I've been close to 2 weeks in a row. Hillsman, it's time for you to get up
darn
there.
far off. Yeah, I'm 11 points down. Essentially screwed at this point unless something crazy happens or we do double points for Augusta. But
Hey, we got a long season
We
left
do,
as well.
yeah.
And hey, we are shout out a little preview. We
Yes.
are gonna have 2 guests.
yes, we will.
For the Augusta episode.
Yeah,
So
should be fun.
the made or missed will be at least worth double. Could be worth triple. Who knows? You could convince me.
Master special next
Master
week.
special. It's gonna be so much fun. We can't wait. We know you can't wait. It is going to be quite
wait. Yep.
enjoyable. The Texas Valero Open is also going to be enjoyable. I'm hoping we see a couple fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
Come
Yep.
the weekend. You always do. We always see fireworks.
PGA Tour, man.
PGA Tour. It's professional golf. But that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in to The Cut Line on the Hoosier Network. I'm Graham Nash,
I'm Andrew Hillsman.
and we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone.